Hello, love. How are you? Welcome home to Eden. And let's talk about whew, the nuclear renaissance and the feminine future. I am in such a better space today. What a difference a couple days can make. I have been in such a nightmarish place about climate emergency and feeling like there was no hope until I came across all of these speakers online about thorium and its role in the nuclear energy movement and how we can actually create clean, almost clean, close to clean nuclear energy through thorium, which creates another compound after its first explosion of energy that then can be burned, so it's burning its own waste. Now we already know that Russia has created the breakthrough power plants that are running on their own waste partially, but that waste is still, like 1,000 years or something. It has to be buried. Whereas the thorium, it's only what's left in the end is such a small amount, and it's only 300 years, and even that will probably be able to be used for energy. And the thorium, it's available. It's available in all the dirt. It's no wars could happen over it, and it's so cheap. It's so easy to make and get that it would allow humans to for we have enough thorium for to last 1,000 years at the level that we're already at of humans. Um, and the thing about the thorium is that it's so little required. Like this much thorium is enough for your entire lifetime of energy use when it's combusted in the nuclear power process. And the waste from that is basically it's totally achievable that we can contain it, because right now the coal waste is not being contained at all. It's toxically spewing all out into the environment, creating our global catastrophe and making millions of people die of lung disease and the people in the mines and tons of deaths. Whereas the nuclear power meltdowns that we've had, basically we know that Chernobyl, it was 28 people that died in the actual explosion. But cancer, like when you go to, I was just watching a guy online talking about, he went to with a group of scientists into the land of Chernobyl to see how are the animals doing. Are they all mutated? Do they have cancer? Is there any life there? Is it a barren wasteland? And he finds, to his amazement, that it's a lush area. It does have radiation, but all the animals are fine. It doesn't seem to bother them at all, and they're thriving, and they've quadrupled their populations, and there's no mutations. And so a lot of the stories we've told ourselves about nuclear power have been off. Like we connected them with war and with bombs, and we didn't realize that they're two different things. The power and then the power to create a bomb are a different kind of technology, actually, in how it's all set up. At least that's what I'm reading. And so I was thinking about the feminine future. So the nuclear renaissance with thorium could mean that everybody all over the planet, in every nation and in every indigenous area, if they want it, they would have all the power they need right from the earth, right from Mother Earth herself, this readily available element of thorium. And all the wars and all the costs involved with that would be going away. So if those go away, then the feminine future that we face is all about connection. What do you do with your life if it's not all about struggle, about winning over somebody else, about trying to protect your nation or your country against your fuel being taken? If there's enough for everybody, and if that waste can be contained easily, which they are saying it actually can be now with these new ways of doing the whole process, especially because thorium breaks down differently and it explodes differently, and the meltdown thing is not, there's not a meltdown possibility with it. Wow, that would mean the nuclear renaissance could mean that we could usher in the day and age of the feminine, where the feminine, what's that about? Well, it's not just about saying that the biodiversity of all humans is important, and the biodiversity of nature is respected. It's also about having fun. It's about the arts. It's about theater and story and dance and writing and music and visual arts and crafts and the meaningfulness of simply getting to be here together, loving the present moment where we're already there. The vacation is the lifestyle, that longing that everybody has to not have to struggle so hard, to be doing meaningful work of service to others, and have time to be with your family, and have time to be with your body and be more sexual. Oh my God, you would have so much more time to have sex if this thorium thing, this nuclear renaissance happens. It means we can go to zero emissions immediately. We can get to, because Sweden has already accomplished it. They're at zero emissions, the whole country. How could this be? It's true, because they're mainly nuclear powered, and they did go green. They did get some solar and some wind and some bicycles and some public transportation along the way, and maybe some of them changed their diet a little, I don't know, but anyway, they are at 100% zero emissions for the whole country. So if that's possible for them, it's possible for everyone. And that fear of nuclear power is what has to be dealt with. And also the control of this whole thorium technology, so that it doesn't get in the hands of the same people who want to be in control of the whole world. Like, what do you even get out of that kind of power? No fun at all. Here's a good example. My dog, our dog here is like the most amazing alpha male, not alpha. Like, he's not into any of the alpha stuff. He won't growl, he won't dominate, he won't do any of it, but he is alpha in that, because he won't fight anybody and he won't try to dominate anybody, he just does his own thing. He stays in his own power. He doesn't let anybody bully him, but he doesn't join in anybody's little dramas. He's like an evolved being. It means he has so many girlfriends and boyfriends. He just got friends everywhere. Everybody wants to play with him, So that's the thing, is to make sure that the thorium goes into our new idea of being alpha as countries, as people, that the truly alpha human being or male is one who is not threatened by other guys and doesn't need to control things, because he already knows his power is safe and his family is safe and provided for. This much thorium, can you imagine, for your entire lifetime? That's all you would need. This is not a pipe dream. This is not some like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if I heard that they, this is actual technology that exists, an actual element here on the planet, and I want you to look it up, and I want you to pass on those videos and those scientists talking, because there's just not enough information out about it. Like, we have Al Gore's been speaking all this climate stuff all this time, and all he ever really talked about was solar energy. So I got into solar energy. I was okay, if that'll save the world, I'm doing solar. And now I find, oh my God, there's all these problems, like the waste of the panels. 20 years from now, we have to redo everything. And the cost to make it, like the amount of elements and compounds and things you have to do to create solar panels is like this much. Whereas with coal, it's this much, and then it actually goes down, with coal, and then it goes down even for propane, like oil, like it goes down in terms of the elements it takes to make that happen. And then when it gets down to nuclear, it's almost nothing, so little to create this whole huge amount of energy. So I would never think I'd be talking about this as an environmentalist, but this is, we're talking about the nuclear renaissance. That's like freeing up the power within the earth to take care of us, and the future of the feminine. So the future of the feminine would mean that this power, because it's available to everybody, and because it's cheap, and because it's so abundantly powerful, like that's all you need. That much, you could get it out of the dirt yourself practically, for your lifetime. I think what it means is that the alternate reality that we're heading towards, it's either the apocalypse if we let it all slide that way and we don't work for it, a new future, or it is actually the new Green Deal of living in gratitude for every culture, every religion, every um, plant, animal. It's like the rights of animals and mountains to exist, because if you don't need to mine them, explode them, and extract anymore, uh, for humans. And then you start to get into gravity control from quantum physics and the plasma theories that are going on, which may allow us to have cars that fly not too far from now. That's what they're saying. They're saying it's going to be soon. Then you don't even have to have roads paving everything. You can let nature go back to itself, and you have this beautiful, fertile planet where where we learn how to grow food in a way that's conscientious, and we learn how to maybe not eat animals at all, or at least if that's going to happen, do it much less and do it with great love for the animals, great gratitude. Every time I get into my mom's house, it's classical music playing, the most beautiful music. If I'm going in to see how her dog's doing, she plays classical music to her dogs, right? She always has, to her pets when she's not there. And that's what they do in France with the cows. They play classical music so that their milk is sweeter. Now, I don't really know if they would really prefer rock music or country music, but the point is the intention of kindness and love to the animals. So the future of the divine feminine coming to the planet has a lot to do with the guys not having to work so hard, not having to, fight so hard for everybody's protection and over elements that aren't enough of them and that are dirty and filthy and making everybody sick. And then people are, wanting to get rich and poor. And you take all that away, and then the men can develop their inner feminine too. And they can have fun doing the art and the painting and the time with the kids. And now here we are in a all new story. So I hope you'll do an exercise with me today, if you have gotten this far in this video, where you just practice saying amazing things that you could see happening if with the nuclear renaissance and the feminine future, what the world could be like. And please pass on those videos about thorium and the nuclear truth in terms of the environmental movement, and that Chernobyl, for example, the land is okay, and we thought everybody was going to be full of cancer from the Fukushima debacle, but they're not. All the deaths there were basically from the tsunami. They were not actually from the power plant exploding, or from people being moved out of the hospital. So this is a very different story about nuclear than what we thought. Very different. It's like our fears and our phobias and our environmental fervor needs to actually go in the right direction, because at this point, with coal raining down this carbon pollution, we are not going to be here. We're facing mass starvation. We're facing droughts, floods. It's happening all over the world. But we can stop it if we stop the coal and the oil. Now stop. And a couple of days ago, I didn't think that was possible. I'm freezing here without my propane, but if there's another way, it can all happen through the nuclear renaissance and thorium. Then the future we head towards is the divine feminine, because if you don't have to work so hard and struggle so hard for resources like that, and you share food, and all countries are sharing their brilliant, their genius and their art, what happens is the feminine comes to the forefront. The feminine of, what am I going to do with myself? I want to connect. I want to make love. I want to kiss. I want to cook. I want to be with the kids. I want to play. I want to play with the dog. Then the feminine has room, and she's not so scary, to lose her or let her loose. Because the reason she's so scary is because if you're struggling just to hold it all together, you don't want your feminine soul to have any room, because she's going to not be able to go to that job that's so much like a zombie land of mechanical death. She won't do it. You have to get your masculine in order to make it happen, and if you don't have to worry so much about how you're gonna, survive, then what happens is even sexuality becomes different, because it's like in warmer cultures we know people are a little freer, they're more expressive with their sexuality, they'll dress more sexy, they'll show their sexuality, they'll touch each other in public. Well, so because you're safe on a physical level, you know, then what it means is that you can trust pleasure. You can trust pleasure because it's not going to keep you from working. You know, the fear is, if I trust my pleasure, I won't work enough and I won't survive, because we have to work so hard to survive at this point for these elements that are really not the way to go. Anyway, you got me. I got you. We got each other. Okay. Long talk and rants today. I just wanted to make these videos for so long. Okay, so love life and subscribe to this channel, and please go to GoFundMe, Eve's Eden, if you want to help me with a big project I'm working on. And I'll talk about that later. Or please, even better, join Patreon, Eve's Eden for Patreon, because I could really use some support for doing these videos. At this point, I have too many questions coming in, all the answers written already for you, ideas, and I can hardly get to doing my videos because of needing to do things for survival. So if you start supporting me on Patreon, which is a monthly amount you choose, say it was $5, say you watch a lot of these videos I put out and they've really helped you, well, you know, some amount that's affordable to you that would come out of your account every month, that would add up, and that would change my life, where I could actually be in my feminine flow instead of, you know, freaking out into the survival mode and not being able to do my videos for you. So these videos, oh my God, I'm excited because I can feel it. I can feel that you are going to support me. You already are. And my music's out there now. It's on all the platforms. It's on Spotify. It's on iTunes. It's on Google Play. And, you know, I'm not making money from that yet, but my link will come out to buy the album at some point too. And so then you can buy my album and help support me. But right now, join Patreon or GoFundMe and subscribe to this channel, and let's stay connected. You can also contact me at Love Life with Eve with personal questions, and I do take donations through PayPal if you feel that my answer has really helped you. That would be the only time I'd want you to send me some cash, okay? All right. Much love, darling. Much love. Such an exciting time. Thorium, the new nuclear renaissance. Oh, please forgive me. My environmental friends, forgive me, but look into it yourselves. You will see what I'm talking about when you really look into it. Okay.